What's up YouTube, Jason here, Morph Mixology. Welcome back to the snake room and the channel. If you haven't already, like and subscribe, get connected with us, and head over to Instagram and follow us over there. That's where all of our updates happen between the weekly videos. This week, as I told you last week would happen, we're finally gonna do the incubator builds. Forgive me, in the background you'll see a lot of stuff going on, a lot of clutter. It's driving me nuts too, trust me. But we just got lots of projects going on right now, and I'm in the middle of cleaning the snake room. I just did all the rat tubs and everything. So just a quick recap. As you know, we've got the Rockstar incubator. It's done. It's been done for quite a while. You can see it's running perfectly 88 degrees throughout. I had another one of those down here and it was 88 as well. This one holds 12 of our tubs that we're going to use. These are the 6-quart shoebox style tub. I get these from the Dollar Tree. But anyway, so it's got 12 of them in there. But I had access to a couple more incubators, so I wanted some bigger ones. So that one's actually going to another breeder here in Montana when this one gets running. So that's what today's video is going to be. I'm going to show you how I do these. They're super simple. Getting the cooler, if you can stumble across a cooler like this, I prefer the glass door ones because obviously you can see through them and kind of keep an eye on the egg boxes without having to open the door and let the heat out. I'm just going to kind of do a real quick, brief build on this and get it up and running. And then I'm going to do the 2-door Pizza Hut one by myself. I'm not going to do a video on that one. So yeah, let's get started. Alright, so you just picked up your glass door incubator, or cooler, excuse me, from Craigslist or the Pepsi plant or wherever you can stumble across them. And you're going to try to make an incubator out of it. Obviously, the first thing we got to do is get all of the cooling stuff out of it. I am not going to, in this video, show you or tell you how to remove the refrigerant stuff that's in the compressor and whatnot that's in these. That can be very dangerous. So I recommend either ask somebody that knows a lot about refrigerant and whatnot, or try to get one that's already gutted, whatever the case may be. So basically is what you have. You'll notice in the Rockstar one down here, underneath is completely empty. There's nothing down there anymore. You can see all the way to the back. I actually have a cover for it. I just haven't put it back on. That one's got a cover on it. You can see down there. So that's where the compressor stuff usually is. That's where the big piece that actually makes the cold and whatnot. So I ripped all that stuff out. This one actually still has its compressor in it, but because it's not plumbed the same way that that one was, I'm gonna leave the compressor down there for the weight. I want the weight. I want it to be nice and heavy on the bottom. That one's actually kind of heavy on top, and so it's a little scary to move. What I did do in this one though, you'll notice all this stuff down here. This is another cooling core, fan mount. There's a fan down here, like so. All of this stuff was originally up here. So you can see the rails currently stop about here. So from here up, this was all that stuff. So again, I'm not going to tell you how to remove it all because I don't want to be responsible for you getting injured if the line is still pressurized or whatever. So just use caution with that. So once you've got everything removed, obviously you're going to want to go through and clean it really well, disinfect it. I haven't gotten through that part yet. I'm not going to do a video on how to clean, obviously. But once you get it all cleaned up and removed, you'll notice in my case here, these rails only go to here. They're about probably 9 or 10 inches short of the top, and since I took all this stuff out, you can see there was a water drain line here, so it's all cut off flush. There was a line down here, it's gone, and same thing over there, it's all gone. So it's all flush, all cleaned out and empty. So the rails don't go up high enough, but I'm got plenty of room to add obviously more tubs here. So I found out, I don't know of local stores for you guys obviously, but I have a store here called A&H Turf. They sell all kinds of crazy stuff. But I was able to buy this specific railing in whatever length I want. And on top of that, I can also get brand new clips in white, so they all match. So that's what I'm gonna do first, is come in here, figure out I've got 4 of these obviously. They're a little bit longer than I need. So come in here and cut them full length so that they fit, and get these installed. And when I'm done with that, we'll come back and start figuring out shelves and heat tape. All right, y'all, there we go. So got the new rails in. Now I know some of you will probably comment like, why do you need rails all the way to the very top? You're not gonna put a shelf there. Yeah, you're right. And I probably could have left the old ones in, but I wanted new ones, and I like them all the way to the top because I think it looks better. That's just my opinion. So, oh, I'm missing a screw. Need a screw right there. Anyway, so the next step I'm gonna do, I'll put it in later. Next step I'm gonna do, I've got heat tape, obviously. We'll do that in a second. But one of the things I really liked about this Rockstar cooler is with the thing in the top, and I lose a little bit of usable space, obviously, but you can probably hear, I've got a fan built in right here, and it's not there, it's always on, I think. And so all it's doing, it's exhausting air, I think. So it's pulling hot air in and blowing it out the back. And I think that that is a huge bonus for making sure that you get even temperatures throughout the entire unit. So this one had a fan in it, but I took it all out because it's all grody and broken. So I'm gonna put one in, and it's actually a computer fan. These are really cool, because I was trying to figure out how to wire up an actual computer fan to do this. But check these out. So I got these, I'll link all the stuff down below, obviously. Just a 120 millimeter fan. It's kind of thick, but no big deal. And I like that it's got grills on it. But it's USB powered, so I can plug it into like a USB wall charger for like your phone. And it has a speed control, high, low, medium, and off, and a daisy chain, so I can plug either another one in or more USB devices, which I'm going to, and I'll show you why here in a minute. So is all we're gonna do. I bought some screws and some spacers, and I'll show you why. Is what I'm planning on doing here is I'm gonna set this to exhaust down, which is this way, almost certain. And I'm gonna have it kind of like this. I want it just a little bit of a gap above the fan. Put it right in the middle, a little bit of gap above it. And is what that will allow it to do is, as the hot air rises to the top of the cooler, it'll get sucked in the top and then blown back down the middle between all the tubs. And it should help circulate it enough to get a really good even temperature in there. So what I did is I went and bought some, I dropped it. I went and bought some self-tapping, just some basic sheet metal screws, and 3/4 inch long nylon spacers. And how this is gonna work, if I can do this with one hand, so I'll go through the corner of the fan and a spacer like so. And then this piece obviously will be self-tapped, and it'll screw into the top of this sheet metal, and it'll just be up in here somewhere. It doesn't really matter, it's not gonna come out the top. So I'm gonna go ahead and screw that in real quick, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all done. There you go, so check this out. This was kind of what I was talking about. You can see with the nylon spacers up here, it's spaced off about 3/4 of an inch. I got it orientated so it's blowing air down, so it'll take hot air from all the sides up into here, blow it straight down. This is on the high setting currently. It's not crazy fast, but it's also super quiet. It's much quieter than that one. And so we'll see once I get heat tape in here and get it powered up if it's enough. If it's not, I'm actually gonna I have a second one of these, and I'll put it either down there or against the back wall and see if that'll kind of help. But yeah, so super excited about that. Now we're gonna go ahead and do heat tape. This is super easy. Depends on who you talk to. And sorry I'm so sweaty in here, guys. It's 78 degrees in here and I'm working, so. Depends on who you talk to. Some people say do heat tape all the way down both sides and across the bottom, and I think that's a little unnecessary. In fact, like I said, if you look at, if you look at this one, you can see that there's only heat tape down the back wall to the bottom, and that's it. There's none on the sides, there's none on the top, there's none on the bottom, and it holds 88 degrees perfectly top to bottom. So I'm gonna do the same thing here. I've got the same 12-inch heat tape, TGH, I get it at Reptile Basics. I'm gonna run a length of it from the very tip top down here all the way to the very bottom, just like so. It should be plenty wide enough and plenty hot enough, obviously. So I'm gonna cut this, and then I'm gonna use, it must not be in here, I've got it outside. I'll have to go grab the foil tape that I use to tape it down. So I'm gonna put that stuff in, and we'll come back and tell you the next step. All right, well, this happens to be about the last step in this idea, really. As you can see, heat tape is now done all the way across the back, completely top to bottom. I also, while I was in here, drilled the hole down here and soldered the extension cord to the heat tape, just like I do in all of my snake racks. So if you want to see how I do that, go back and watch one of the other rack builds. But yeah, that just goes outside. Got the extension cord down here ready to go. That'll plug into the thermostat. And yeah, so that's it for the build. I do have one little thing I want to do though, and then I got to go through obviously and cable manage, and then set up the shelves. And I'll show you what I do with my shelves here in just a minute too. But one of the things I love so much about this Rockstar cooler is obviously the light up door is cool, but the lights inside, so you can very clearly see the tubs, like I showed you on this switch. You know, having the lights inside is pretty cool. I like that. Obviously this one doesn't have any, so it did. The pieces that are on the ground down here, they had a spot for a light that went across the top here. Sorry about that, the battery died. So we're talking about the lights, obviously. So what I bought is a cheap LED computer light system on Amazon. It's pretty simple the way this works. There's just a roll of LEDs, multiple colors obviously. Comes with a power plug, so this is actually a little different than I was expecting. That's okay. And then it's got a remote unit inside, and obviously a remote, change colors, brightness, stuff like that. So originally I was going to get USB powered LEDs, and the cool thing with that is, since I have this tag along here off the fan, I could have plugged them all in together. That's not an issue anymore, obviously. I've got this plug, so all I gotta do is drill a small hole in the back, route the cable up, and then I'm gonna run the lights along the front frame all the way 3 sides, or 2 sides and the top, so that I can have lights inside the cooler. So I'm gonna get those up and running and show you what they look like. Then we'll put shelves in, and we'll basically be done. Here we go. All right, well, I got you guys up on the tripod now so I can show you. It's all lit up. I will tell you honestly, I probably won't list these specific lights in the description down below. I'll put a different set in there that I've used before. 2 things I don't like about these in particular. One is they're not waterproof the way they advertise them, so they're not coated in the silicone. And because of that, they're a little fragile. In fact, this is the second run I was supposed to do, use these in the other incubator. The first one I got all the way done. I tested them, made sure they all worked. I got all done, cut it where it said to cut it, and then they didn't work at all. So, but they're really fragile, and I don't know if the heat's going to be an issue with them. We're just kind of see how it goes. The other issue I don't like about these in particular is it might look good on the screen here, but you can see there's kind of a blue hue. This is the quote-unquote white setting. So the ones I'll put down in the link will be RGBW. So they'll actually have a white channel. These are just RGB. So I've got red, green, and blue. But when you do white, it combines all 3 of them to give you what they claim is white, which looks nice. You get kind of a Christmassy feel to it when you can see the lights directly. And it's got a real blue hue to it, which is fine. It's not going to matter. The color is just not as good as some that I've used before, so I'll put better ones down below. I'll show you. But yeah, so that's all done. Heat tape's in. Now we got to do shelves. The nice thing is, like I said, where I bought the rails, I could also buy replacement clips, and these are nice because now they'll all match, of course, and I can buy more as I need. So I'm actually going to lower you guys down. I want to show you one thing I do first. Alright, so you might have seen in the other cooler, I had these square gallon jugs of water. There's 4 of them across the bottom. I just get these at the dollar store. It's super cheap. The reason I have these in there is once these come up to temperature, once the incubator gets to 88 or 89, these get to 88 or 89, they'll hold heat and radiate it up, which helps heat the bottom as well, keeps it kind of even. But it also helps keep the temperature consistent when you open the door. So I always I'm going to put a set of these in the bottom of here too. So we're just going to set that in there to see what it looks like size-wise. I'll put it in the middle for you. And then this incubator came with a handful of shelves. I'm going to need more for sure. And so what I'm planning on doing is just going to like Home Depot or Lowe's, and the closet organizer section that just has the standard white wire shelves. Just get a big length of that and cut it down. These are a little heavier than that, but it's not a big deal. So we're going to take these. This is the top here. I'm just going to set it in here on top of the water, and then just kind of figure out where the closest point is down here to put these pegs in. So let me do that real quick. Alright, so figured out where I wanted these clips. So it's just above. I could probably go down one level, but I want to be able to take these out if need be. Just above there. Then we'll take, this is where the individuality of this comes in for sure. You can set up your tubs any way you want. If you want to go get some more shelving from Lowe's or Home Depot and do one shelf for every level of tubs, you can. I'm not going to, because I might have a few clutches that are going to be going in at the same time or whatever. It'd be easier to move around. So I'm going to stack them in 2s like I did in the other incubator. So we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to set this up, use another shelf here, and just set it in. Figure out the closest place I can get it without it touching, so I can get them out obviously. And then rinse and repeat all the way to the top. You might find at the top you have to do an odd number of shelves or something and put just one tub on top. It's all going to depend on your incubator, the size of your tubs, and how far you space them. So I'm going to go ahead and get all the shelves done, get the heat on, get it tested. I might have to go buy some more shelves, so it'll be just a break for you or for me. And then when I come back, it'll be all up and running and finished, and we'll do a final review. All right, y'all, conclusion time. New wardrobe, just came back from Valentine's dinner with the wife actually, and remembered that I need to film the end of this. And the incubator's been up and running now for about 4 hours. You can't see them probably, but in a couple of these tubs in various places, I've got some of the Accurite thermometers. They're not perfectly accurate, so there is a degree or two of fluctuation between them. I'm seeing an average of about 86 to 87 degrees at the coolest point, and 89 to 90 degrees at the warmest point, both in and out of the tub. So that's probably going to work just fine. Usually, from my understanding, you want to be 88 to 90 is roughly where you want to be. You know, if they're a degree or two cooler, they'll probably take a little bit longer to incubate. A degree or two warmer should maybe come up a little bit sooner. So I'm gonna play with it a little bit, see if I can balance them out a little bit, maybe try some other thermometers, see if I can get something a little more accurate. I actually did get some information from a friend of mine on some really cool hanging, they're actually designed for refrigerators, hanging thermometers that hang on these racks, on these levels. So I might get a couple, I'm gonna order 2 of those and hang them probably in the middle or in the front or whatever. So that I can monitor with a little bit more accuracy. So, but yeah, it's working great. As you can see, hopefully I don't know if you can see the bottom or not. This one now holds 18 boxes. As you can probably tell, there's 3 stacked on the top. I could actually go ahead and put in another shelf here and just have 1 on top, but 3 stacks, not a big deal. I didn't want to go any more than that, but 3's fine. The lights, again, told you about the issues with the lights. Let me show you what it looks like turned off. Lights turned off anyway. So it looks pretty cool, and you can actually see in the background the Rockstar cooler. It's all empty obviously now, all the tubs are over there. But, and that actually gives you a good perspective of size. The Rockstar one's pushed back about a foot, so keep that in mind. But it was set up and would hold 12 of those tubs. And this one now obviously holds 18. So the colors, like I said, because the diodes are not correct, red, green, and blue all look really cool because they're only displaying red, green, and blue, right? Orange looks pretty good. It's not too bad. It's kind of bizarre because you see red and green LEDs on the edges, but the orange with the orange tubs looks really nice actually. Yellow is going to look kind of funny, and then of course white. The actual light itself in here is not bad, but again you can see the LEDs. So I might tinker with it a little bit, but so yeah, there you go, guys. Really excited to have this incubator up and running. I'm glad it's working. The Rockstar one's going out in a couple days to its new home. This one's ready to go. The double door Pizza Hut one is basically finished. So keep an eye on Instagram. I'll have some pictures when I get them all moved into the incubator closet and get them all up and running and whatnot. This one's obviously prepped and ready. Next week's video is probably going to be finishing the maternity rack for the rats. And then I've got the 28 quart adult male racks coming, the hatchling rack, and eggs, hopefully. So thanks for sticking with me, guys. Great response on the new logo video. A little clickbaity, I know, but everybody seems to really be enjoying the new logo. Thank you guys all so much for that. That's awesome. If you have any questions or comments, description or in the comments down below, and I will see all of you guys next week. Bye.